Big Hodge for Big Hodge Media. I'm all in your area, but I'm not in your area because I'm West Coast Hodge. I'm on the left side of the United States. Anyway, this episode here is talking about outgrowing people. The methods of the madness shall be discussed here on this quick episode of Big Hodge Media. So, for the most part, on this episode of talking about outgrowing people, growth is an important part of everyday life. So when we're speaking about growth on this channel, let's go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe button. You see how I just did that? I just played that in there. We're going to smash the like and the subscribe button. We're going to get more episodes. We're going to get more content to you, but it needs to be in the algorithm, in YouTube's algorithm. So with it being in the algorithm, you have to like, subscribe, put your notification bell on, so that way you can see this guy, Big Hodge Media, West Coast Hodge, all in your area, giving you these good talks. When talking about outgrowing people, one of the things that you see with the writings on the wall is ruined potential, an opportunity to grow, but someone is comfortable and chill with what is working for them at the time being, meaning that they don't see deemed fit for something that's futuristic, something that's further out there. They're comfortable, meaning that the people that you're surrounded by, you could be so honed in on a project, so honed in on a spectacle and the idea of growing bigger than what the project actually is and the potential that it has. And some people seem to get comfortable with the minor role or the major role that they have, and there's nothing bigger than that for them. Maybe that's their lifeline. Maybe that's the timeline that's deemed, hey, this is my rise to fame, this is my rise to glory, this is where I need to be. For me, I know the type of work ethic that I bring to projects, that I bring to brands, that I bring to people. It's always bigger than what it seems. When you start to choose self-worth and self-value, it creates a separation dimension where you don't want to be around those who are not like-minded, those who don't work as hard, those who you see through lies, greed, and manipulation. You outgrow that. Another quotable in the chamber that what I see is deemed as outgrowing people seems to be dependency. When I see dependency as a force of loneliness, showing true colors and vulnerability, decisions on a wanting act, not as opposed to a needing act, I'm seeing impulsive behavior. I'm seeing the cry for attention. I'm seeing non-deemable worthy things, just useless causes of there's no vision. That also will create outgrowing people and stunning growth. That's where the Big Hodge dilemma comes in, and he's like, hey, I got to separate myself from X, Y, and Z. I got to separate myself from X, Y, and Z group. I cannot be deemed to be caught up with a project or a brand that has no end game vision. We're all out here trying to figure it out. We're all out here making it up as we go, but there has to be some certain rules and parameters to a vision being accomplished.
Well, I hate to break it to you, kid, but we're all just making it up as we go along.
I was born and raised in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, where nothing was shown to me. I had to learn all the ropes from the bumps in the road, from all of the mistakes. And I'm still learning. But what I've learned is when you outgrow people, and you notice potential being ruined, that means there's more potential in your court for growth. Another rule of outgrowing people, of things that I see, it definitely is the loneliness factor. The loneliness factor, you could see people make some of the dumbest decisions, be around some of the dumbest people, be in some of the most uncomfortable situations, because there's no solidarity or solitude built upon self in order for one to grow, for better fortune in mental, physical, and financial. It all comes down to you and the choices that deem what's better for you. Listen to your own thoughts within the four walls of what you see yourself trapped in. Any magnitude of decision making comes down to you, and you're able to go ahead and process it and think within your four walls of your mind. But if emotion starts to take over and you start feeling the loneliness, and you making decisions in business, life, and branding because of loneliness, that's an emotional decision, and that's a stage of vulnerability, and that's also a stage of impulse. I'm not that guy. I'm going to take a time out. I'm going to operate at my speed. I'm going to take a time out and think of possibly every scenario of the situation, for better or worse. Yin and yang. Take a time out, please. Learn how to separate your emotions from your intellect. It takes a lot of time to do so. But once you do such, your thinking and compatibility of crucial thinking will be better. Just take the time out, embrace the solidarity and solitude of being alone, and figure out your next move. There's nothing worse to me than seeing ruined potential. Someone who has all the energy, all the educational skills, all of the lightness of personality, but yet very stagnant and doesn't do much. Comfortable with what's going on, comfortable with the minimal, comfortable with less effort. I outgrow that situation every time. Every time. Life has chapters, and different books need to be changed, different pages. The most successful people never gain a source of comfortability. They're always working, outworking, thinking, and never comfortable. The situation might seem like it's comfortable, but life has twists and turns that change scenarios. Growing up in New York has made me more adaptive than anything, because coming from the bottom, coming from failures, we never want to return back to that. I never want to return back to that. So I work my ass off. I bust my ass every opportunity that I get for a situation to be greater than what I was. You better believe that Big Hodge will knock it out the park and outwork the competition, and the only competition is self. I've been known to make a mark no matter where I go, because I have solitude and solidarity and self-worth and value. And I wouldn't have been able to do such without a timeout and getting in tune with this here. Without being able to separate emotion from logic, I'm going to have gotten as far as I think, honestly. Sometimes I'm able to make an emotional decision, but then I have to sit back and logically break it down and regather and regroup to say, okay, that wasn't what was best. And I've learned from that, doing that time and time again in my younger years. And man, being a little bit older now, I'm able to gauge and know when I'm wrong and know when it's time to move on. You know, time is very important, and I don't have time for extra baggage. I don't have time to wield the chalice and pass the torch and all that other good stuff and memorable quotes. But I work my ass off, and if I don't show that as a board to leadership, and some can't follow suit, that's fine. Everybody has their own vision, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I know my value. My value is not to be carrying weight of others, not supposed to be solving everyone's problems. So I'm just blessed and I'm grateful to have this space, to have my creative space and talk to you on camera about many of the things that I see on why my mind and myself seems to outgrow people. And I'm pretty sure there's thousands, millions, hundreds, thousands, and 100 gazillions of you out there that are feeling quite the same of, hey, I'm reaching a plateau that I want to continue to grow on. I don't want to get stagnant here for such and such. Well, this is a relatable situation. You do outgrow people. You're never meant to have the same people in your life forever. I mean, for one, me taking a risk and coming out here to the West Coast, I separated from comfortability. Well, not comfortable because it was New York City. You're never comfortable in New York City. But separating from knowing what I want and what I need, I had to take time out, analyze, and say, hey, this works, that doesn't work. This works, okay. It's like a chessboard, that's why all the pieces are there. Each one has to move. I feel like society's at a stage where people have the choice to make a good decision or a bad decision, and knowing that it's right in front of you. With how much access of information and access to things, we always talk about things. We have access to things to gauge where we want to move in our life. Do we want to continue on with such and such person, such and such group, such and such project? It's all being broken down. Learn how to separate your emotions from logical thinking. I'm not the shaman. I'm not the guy with the answers. I just know what works for me and what could potentially work for you. And that's why I'm sharing this information. Outgrowing people is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. Dude, she could have asked her brother, but Becca asked you to buy her alcohol. That'd be pimp.
There ain't no problem yet. Oh.
Signing off. Big Hodge. West Coast Hodge. Peace.